Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is Fahmina Umar, Divisional Public School and Intermediate College, Lahore. Dear students, we are going to start our third chapter entitled as Biodiversity. At least 10 million kinds of organisms inhabit the earth, but less than one third of these have been studied and catalogued by biologists. Although organisms share many biological characteristics, but diversity is also obvious among them. On the basis of differences, organisms are classified into five principal groups, that is, prokaryotes, protists, fungi, plants, and animals. In this chapter, we'll focus on the differences and similarities among different groups of organisms. The term biodiversity has been derived from two words. Bio means living organisms and diversity means variety within and among species. Biodiversity is the measure of the variety of organisms present in different ecosystems. Biodiversity of animals in a region is called fauna, and diversity of plants is called flora. The diversity of flora and fauna of a region depends on following factors, that is, on climate, on altitude, on soil, and presence of other species. Due to different weather conditions, Earth is divided into different climate zones. Climate is the average weather conditions on a place over a long period of time. On the basis of climate, Earth is divided into three climate zones: tropical, temperate, and polar zones. In this picture, you can roughly see where these climate zones appear on Earth. The regions closest to equator are called the tropics. The climate is hotter and humid here because sunlight directly overhead at the equator. Therefore, biodiversity is richest in tropics. Adjacent to tropics are the temperate regions. There are typically warmer and humid summers along with mild winters. Pakistan also lies in the temperate region. Temperate regions also are rich in terms of biodiversity. Polar regions are extremely cold. Even in summers, temperature never go higher than 10 degrees centigrade. Due to extreme weather conditions, there are fewer species in the polar region. This picture shows you the highly diverse flora of the tropical region. Now look at the richest fauna of the tropical region. Flora of temperate region is also diverse, but less diverse as compared to tropics. Fauna of temperate region is also diverse in terms of many animal species. In polar zone, there are only fewer plant species, and growth of plants is highly reduced due to harsh environmental conditions. Fauna of polar region is also the most less diverse, including fewer animal species in comparison to the climate zones around the globe. By this whole discussion regarding distribution of biodiversity on Earth, we can conclude that biodiversity is not evenly distributed on Earth. It is richest in tropics. Temperate regions also have many species, while there are fewer species in the polar regions. Biodiversity on Earth is the result of 4 billion years of evolution. Means up till 4 billion years of origin of Earth, the planet was devoid of life. The origin of life on Earth can be attributed to the process of photosynthesis that added up oxygen in the atmosphere and paved the way for bacteria and unicellular organisms to arrive on Earth. The origin of life is not well known to science. Limited evidence suggests that until 600 million years ago, all life consisted of bacteria and unicellular organisms. Role of biodiversity in maintaining ecosystem is huge. Some aspects are listed in your book. Biodiversity provides food for humans. A significant proportion of drugs are derived directly or indirectly from biological sources. A wide range of industrial materials, for example, building materials, fibers, dyes, resins, gums, adhesives, rubber, and oil, are derived directly from plants. Biodiversity plays important role in making and maintaining ecosystems. It plays a part in regulating the chemistry of our atmosphere and water supply. Biodiversity is directly involved in recycling nutrients and providing fertile soils. To understand how biologists make it possible to study such a large collection of organisms, let's discuss classification, its aims and principles. When we study classification, we encounter a question. What is the need of a classification system? Or why organisms are classified? Let's try to find out reasons behind the classification system. Over 1.5 million types of animals and over zero point 0.5 million types of plants are known to biologists. And these are only a small percentage of total types estimated to live on Earth. Means a big percentage of biodiversity is still to be unrevealed by man. Organisms range in complexity from single-celled bacteria to complex multicellular human beings. Organisms have different modes of locomotion. For example, some walk, some creep, others fly, and still others are stationary. Moreover, each has its own way of getting food. They differ in having habitats. Some live on soil, some in water, still other by making burrows in the soil. They differ in their response to unfavorable environmental conditions. Moreover, every organism has its own way to reproduce its kinds. When there are so many diverse kinds of organisms, it becomes difficult to learn about the characteristics of each. To study such a large collection, biologists classify organisms into groups and subgroups, and for this reason, they require a system. We discussed that organisms are need to be classified due to diverse characteristics they possess. But let me make you clear, classification of organisms in same groups and subgroups is based on similarities. Similarities in characteristics. These similarities suggest that all organisms are related to one another at some point in their evolutionary histories. However, some organisms are more closely related than others. For example, sparrows are more closely related to pigeons than to insects. It means that the former two have common evolutionary histories. Similarities in morphology and stages of development. When biologists classify organisms into groups and subgroups, similarities are seen in external and internal structures and stages of development. Similarities in genetic makeup. Modern genetics provides another type of information to taxonomists. The similarities and differences in the DNA of two studied organisms can be used for getting idea about similarities and differences in their structures and functions. So, biological classification is the method by which biologists divide organisms into groups and subgroups. The branch of biology which deals with classification is called taxonomy, and the branch which deals with classification and also traces the evolutionary history of organisms is known as systematics. The main aims of biological classification are to determine similarities and differences among organisms so that they can be studied easily, to find the evolutionary relationships among organisms. So, up till now, we can conclude classification of organisms in groups is based upon similarities as well as differences. They are placed in different groups on the basis of differences and in same groups on the basis of similarities in their characteristics. For example, all birds are placed in same class for having more similar characters. But insects cannot be placed with birds on the basis of differences. Let's discuss taxonomic hierarchy. Hierarchy refers to the taxonomic classification of living organisms in successive levels of complexity. The highest rank in such a classification is kingdom, while species is the lowest. In your book, taxonomic hierarchy is defined as the groups in which organisms are classified are known as taxonomic categories or taxa, singular taxon. The taxa form a ladder called taxonomic hierarchy. All organisms on earth are divided into 5 kingdoms. Therefore, kingdom is regarded as the largest group. On the basis of similar and different characteristics, kingdoms are further divided into lower taxa in the following way. Kingdom, the largest taxon. Then phylum, group of related classes. Class, group of related orders. Order, all related families are placed in order. Family, the group of related genera. Genus, all related species are put in this group. Species contain all similar organisms. The sequence in an hierarchy is specific. The sequence in an hierarchy is specific. This order can be learned by heart with the help of this mnemonic. It's kids prefer candies over fried green spinach. Here K sounds for kingdom, P sounds for phylum, C for class, O for order, F for family, G for genus, and S for species. So this mnemonic, kids prefer candies over fried green spinach, can be used in order to memorize the taxonomic order in the hierarchy. Let's discuss taxonomic hierarchy of human and P. For human, kingdom is Animalia. For P, it is Plantae. Phylum Chordata. For P, it is Mangoliophyta. Class for human is Mammalia. For P, it is Mangoliopsida. Order for human is Primates. For P, it is Fabales. Family for human, Hominidae. For P, it is Fabaceae. Genus, Homo, and for P, it is Pisum. Species, human, Homo sapiens, and P, Pisum sativum. Homo sapien is the scientific name of human, while Pisum sativum is the scientific name of P. Let's define species, the basic unit of classification. A species is a group of organisms which can interbreed freely among them and produce fertile offsprings, but are reproductively isolated from all other such groups in nature. Now, to understand what is meant by reproductively isolated, let's have a look on this picture. Toad and frog are two different species because toad can interbreed naturally producing offsprings of its own kind. Same is true for frog. If toad and frog are allowed to interbreed under artificial conditions, it would be an unnatural cross and would result in infertile offsprings, and they are not able to produce fertile, viable offsprings. Let's have another example. A cross between a male donkey and a female horse under artificial conditions would result in infertile offspring called mule. So we can say each species possesses its own distinct structural, ecological, and behavioral characteristics. Here are some important questions from this section of the chapter. We'll discuss further topics of this chapter in next lectures. For queries, do comment in comment box. Thank you.